Some back on the telecast with me. Some what are the arguments that are being put forth by Advocate Kapil Sibal? He's speaking about how inheritance in Islam takes place after death. Why is the Waqf Amendment Act interfering in that?
Well, absolutely. Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal is making argument in court number 1 and explaining what exactly is the Waqf property, and also what exactly are the rights of the minorities when it comes to the Constitution of India. And Article 26, he is quoting Article 26 of Indian Constitution, and wherein Article 26 of the Constitution is about freedom to manage religious affairs, subject to public order, morality and health. Every religious denomination or any section thereof shall have the right to establish and maintain institutions for religious and charitable purposes, and also to manage its own affairs in the matter of religion. This is what is being said by Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal in this matter. And also Kapil Sibal is the same advocate, same lawyer as who mentioned the petition before the top court of the country last week, and also the Supreme Court listed it for the hearing today, and Supreme Court refused to list it immediately and listed it on 16th of April, that is today.
Right.
And
also
so
talking about,
yes.
There has also been an argument raised in opposition to the Waqf Amendment Act, talking about how there has been a government officer that has been identified who's going to take stock of the Waqf properties. That has also been one of the primary reasons on the basis of which a number of political leaders have petitioned against this act. If you could shed more light into what aspects of a government officer who is going to be part of the administration, the trust that is now going to screen these Waqf properties.
Well, yes, see, these are the legal arguments, legal jargons being used by different lawyers in the Supreme Court, and this time Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal is making argument. He is saying this is by and large the provisions on which this act has to be stated, and also he is referring to a few sections of the Unified Waqf Management Act, and also the definition of Waqf. He is saying that Waqf means the permanent dedication by any person showing or demonstrating that he is practicing Islam for last 5 years of any movable or immovable property, provided it does not have any contrivance. And that's why if I want to create a Waqf, this is what what Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal is saying, that's why if I want to create a Waqf, I have to show that I am practicing Islam from last 5 years, and how should the state decide whether and how I am Muslim or not. So these are the questions being raised by Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal when it comes to the particular act, particular law passed by both houses of the parliament, and particularly this Waqf Amendment Act he is talking about.
Right. Also Kapil Sibal talking about, when then this CJI has raised that all ancient monuments including Jama Masjid will remain protected under the Waqf Amendment Act. Kapil Sibal has put out an argument that he has a chart here with all the Muslims who are deemed as scheduled tribes, and isn't it part of the constitution as per law that the scheduled tribes property cannot be transferred without the individual's permission? So there has been another angle that has been raised by the senior advocate. Back on the telecast with me is Ashwini Dubey. Ashwini, shed more light into what are the aspects of the scheduled tribes and the laws that have been brought in to protect their properties, to protect their identity, that are going to overlap with the Waqf Amendment Act? Sambhav, back on the telecast with me. Sambhav, again, how does this scheduled tribes property and the overlapping of the Waqf Amendment Act is that going to hamper the government of India's case while fighting the case?
Well, absolutely. See, this time Chief Justice of India is asking, Chief Justice Sanjeev Khanna is asking, what about the protected monuments? And exactly this Kapil Sibal is saying, are you talking about the Jama Masjid? So CJI said, no, Jama Masjid was declared a protected monument under earlier law, and the reading is in your favor, and that if it is declared an ancient monument or under the ASI Act, then Waqf status cannot be disturbed. This is what the Chief Justice of India is saying. All ancient masjids will be protected and not hit by the act. This is what is said by the Chief Justice of India, and to which the senior advocate Kapil Sibal is saying, suppose you go to Sambhal, CJI said, let it be, we will ask the other side. So these are the exact arguments going on in the Supreme Court, and the hearing is underway. A crucial, very crucial hearing, very crucial arguments underway.
Right, absolutely. In fact, there is more of those points that have been put out by the senior counsel. He is talking about how the challenge of implementing the Waqf Amendment Act is an issue that is essential to a faith. There has been a response by the Chief Justice of India, who has spoken that inheritance is a matter of personal choice, whether it comes to Hinduism or Islam or any other religion that is practiced within the country. And there is a law that has been enacted for the Muslims. There is in fact a law that has been enacted by the Hindus to then regulate, to screen and to monitor the properties that are inherited by individuals following, practicing different religions. Ashwini is, all right, before I get to Ashwini Dubey, some of, what are the CJI's comments? What are these laws that have been implemented? What are these legislations within the parliament that have been enacted, which allows for the state, which allows for the government to monitor the inheritance that is inherited by Hindus? I have with me Advocate Fuzail Khan. Fuzail Khan, again the argument put forth, the counter argument put forth by the Chief Justice of India, that when there is an enactment of a legislation in the parliament to monitor and screen properties of inheritance of Hindus, why should something not be applicable in a similar vein for Muslims?
Am I audible to you?
Yeah, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yes. So we are discussing about the Waqf, that is the Waqf Amendment Act, which has been passed by both the houses of the parliament and which is under challenge before the Supreme Court of India. And the reason why the Waqf Act has been challenged, because there are certain provisions in this act which actually contradict the basic essence of Waqf. So the Waqf has to be managed in a proper manner, and the management is led by the mutawalli, and the mutawalli is a Muslim who actually manages the Waqf property and who generates wealth, and that wealth, whatever is being generated through the Waqf, it has been distributed among the needy, poor and the desired within the community and also outside the community. Now, as far as this act has brought, it has given certain absolute powers to the district magistrate, and then there can be a challenge to it, and there are certain Waqf properties which are century old, and they may not be having certain papers with regard to the Waqf, so the district magistrate may have powers to denotify it, which will actually defeat the purpose of the donor who had donated this property in the name of God, because there is a little bit of difference between endowment and the Waqf under the Sharia law established under the Islamic state. Or the basic purpose of the Waqf was that Waqf is created in the name of God. So there is a belief that once a property that has been created for the purpose of Waqf, then it cannot fall back to the state or to the donor or to any other person, because Waqf is in the name of Allah. So once you denotify it, it's going to create a lot of problem, which has to be examined by the court of law as to what will be the position, first of all.
Okay.
And
Okay. I'll have